Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today, I have brewed up a deck at the request of Patreon subscriber Frosted. Frosted is a big fan of Irencrag Pyromancer from its time back in Standard. This is a 3-mana 0/4. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, it deals 3 damage to any target. Frosted, as I said, was a big fan of this card and has been trying to make it work in Pioneer and in the non-rotating Arena formats. I don't know what they're called. I'm sorry. I don't really play Arena. But reached out to ask me, try to improve the matchup or improve the deck and its place in the metagame. The only rules were play Irencrag Pyromancer and play at least one Nicol Bolas. I went with Dragon God. That one seems like it wins the game the most on its own, compared to the Ravager was the other version, the 4/4 creature. But I went with Dragon God. Irencrag Pyromancer, of course, encourages you to draw 2 cards in a turn to get the thing going. That means we want cantrips and spells that draw cards. Anything that draws 1 card will trigger Pyromancer on your turn, and any instant that draws 2 cards will trigger Pyromancer on your opponent's turn. I got Consider in the main deck. Obviously we're in the main deck. I got Consider in the deck as a 4-of. This is the most efficient way to draw 1 extra card in Pioneer. It also fuels Treasure Cruise by putting 2 cards in your graveyard instead of just 1. Then on the instant side, we've got Tainted Indulgence, draw 2 cards, then discard a card unless there are 5 or more mana values among cards in your graveyard. It's really hard to get to 5 mana values. This is mostly going to be draw 2, discard 1 all the time. Prismari Command, one of the modes on this is target player draws 2, discards 2. And those all came from Frosted, the Consider, the Tainted Indulgence, the Prismari Command. I added Fable the Mirror Breaker. This is another way to draw an extra card or 2 when it goes up to Chapter 2. Little awkward curve consideration because Pyromancer is a 3-drop and so is Fable. So you're going to play one of them off curve if you end up drawing cards, but it's a powerful standalone card that also synergizes with the thing you're trying to do. The Goblin token generating a treasure can give you a turn 4 Nicol Bolas. Big fan of that as well. I just think Fable is a powerful card that belongs in this deck. Since we're trying to cast all these spells, Ledger Shredder makes perfect sense. Ledger Shredder also draws an extra card when you cast 2 spells. That's another way to get Pyromancer rocking, and it's a way to fuel your graveyard for the Treasure Cruise, and to pay off Ledger Shredder, and to just keep up with this reasonably powerful format. We've got Fatal Push and Thoughtseize as cheap interaction, and then as we go up the curve, we've got Dreadbore. That's a format staple these days, and the Prismari commands also function as removal. Brand new, hot off the presses, didn't even exist when Frosted reached out to me originally with this idea. Sheoldred the Apocalypse showing up in all these sorts of decks. Any like mid-range deck with black mana, Sheoldred is a presence in. And this is another thing that rewards you for drawing cards, which is something the deck wants to do anyway. You gain 2 life when you draw a card. This is just a big booty that can win a game on its own, and it punishes the opponent. And if your opponent uses removal on your Ledger Shredder or your Irencrag Pyromancer lower on the curve, then Sheoldred is more likely to stick and keep going. Just a classic, do you have it on 2? Do you have it on 3? Bang, you don't have it anymore on 4. Sheoldred plus Treasure Cruise, pretty messed up. Big fan of that. Basically, my deck building philosophy here was I took red-black mid-range, which is the #1 deck according to MTG Goldfish in Pioneer, at least the most played deck. And I took Is It Phoenix, which has fallen off quite a bit, but is a known quantity, and just sort of smashed them together with Irencrag Pyromancer, because red-black mid-range. This is a Grixis mid-range kind of control-y deck. And Grixis contains red-black. And then the Phoenix deck is a deck that's trying to cast a bunch of spells, draw a lot of cards. And we're trying to do that too. So I've done my best to amalgamate the two. My sideboard is a bunch of stuff for red, black, and Phoenix in unlicensed Hearse. We've got some respect for the Lotus Field deck with Damping Sphere. Spell Pierce, generally great card in any sort of control or mid-range matchup. And then a ton of stuff for Green Ramp and White Humans, which are two decks that have surged to the forefront. Path of Peril, 1 black, destroy all creatures. I don't even have white mana in the deck, can't cleave it if I wanted to. Just 3 mana, destroy all creatures with mana value 2 or less. Extinction Event on 4. Kervek the Spiteful. This doesn't kill any of the creatures in my deck. It shrinks everybody else's creatures. Anger of the Gods. This does kill Irencrag Pyromancer and Ledger Shredder and Fable token. It leaves Sheoldred behind. Hopefully it'll be worse for them than it is for me. And if I connive once with Ledger Shredder, I get to keep that. Hidetsugu Consumes All. Only kills the Goblin token out of my deck or any treasures laying around. I do have a couple ways to make treasures. Should be worse for them than it is for me. And the Graveyard Hate is good in a lot of spots. Actually, now that I'm talking through this, I think I have a little too much for the board. And Go Blank is a card that, if you don't play Pioneer, might look like a joke, but it's actually super messed up. Target player discards 2 cards, then exile that player's graveyard. It's a 2-for-1 on just the Mind Rot side, and many decks in the format use their graveyard pretty significantly. I'm going to turn at least one of these Anger of the Gods into a Go Blank, and I'm going to think about if I'm going to turn the other one by the time this league starts. We'll see where I end up on that. I'll probably just split them 1 and 1. That makes sense to me, but +1 Go Blank in the list. Now I'm ready to do this thing. Let's go try some Grixis mid-range Pyromancer. I'm on the play in round 1 with a pretty disruptive hand. I'm going to keep this. It needs a 3rd land. I play a lot of those though, but I get to Thoughtseize, Fatal Push on my way up to Fable. Let's do it. Thoughtseize is one of the most individually powerful cards in the format. Like, this thing goes all the way back to Vintage and we just get in Pioneer. Alright, I'm going to read this card. Mono Faces of Kakazan deals 1 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control. When you cast your next creature this turn, that creature enters with an additional +1 counter on it. And exile the Saga, it flips into a 2/2 haste. Okay. Heartfire deals 4 damage to anything. Arca's Command. I think I want to Thoughtseize the 2 Burning Tree Emissaries and let the Kumano happen. So I can Fatal Push that at the back end. Heartfire is an instant. Here's the Den and the Kumano. I take 1. Thoughtseize you again. Take the Burning Tree Emissary. Play my land. Alright, we need a untapped mana for Fable here. Get that going. Hope they didn't draw a creature. Yeah, stuff the Kumano. Good shit. And, alright, Ledger Shredder. That is not really what I wanted, but I will play it. It does stuff the Kumano. The Saga, return it. It's a 2/2 haste. They can Atarka's Command to buff a squad and deal 3 to me. They'll just cast 2 spells and let me loot. That would be great. With Spear. Alright, if you cast a spell, I get to loot. I'm going to block Kumano. Because if they Atarka's Command, it becomes 3 power, but I get 4 toughness. Yeah, alright. Block the bigger one. I get 2 Connive. Probably gonna just discard this. Do I discard Treasure Cruise? I mean, that's how I get out of this game, but it's like not really helping me be alive right now. They are almost out of cards. I'm gonna discard the Fable. Keep my dreams alive of future cruising. Untap Black Source just stabilizes this board like a boss. Come on, black mana. Shit. I can Tainted Indulgence, try to spike, or I can just remove one of the creatures. I think I want to just remove one of the creatures. I'm going to remove the one that can get bigger than Ledger Shredder. This Heartfire is scary because if they find 3 more damage, I die. Just missing land drops here. Devastating. Sacrifice a creature or planeswalker. Okay. Okay, here we go. Untapped Black Source. Get to play a backup Ledger Shredder. And I can Fatal Push and Connive twice right now, but that's not a good use of Fatal Push. Because they can just Heartfire their creature away. Alright, they just did it anyway. Get wrecked me. Alright, how am I taking 3? Seems likely to occur. Tarka's command. Okay, sure. Alright, fair enough. I missed my land drop for a while and died. Welcome to red decks. What am I doing here? Spell Pierce seems pretty good. Do I want Consume? Probably. There's a lot of 1s in this deck. Thoughtseize, it does help me map out what I need to play around and play against, but also it hurts a lot. Yeah, if I just play to the board, I think that's better. Nicol Bolas, not really for this. And this looks good to me. This one is pretty cool. I'm going to keep this hand, and unfortunately, I am not going to shock in the land. There's not an untapped turn 1 blue source pain-free in the deck. Frosted's original version had 1 of each basic, but with no way to fetch them, like no Fabled Passage or anything like that. It just seemed like a worse dual land most of the time. Alright, so this is going to be would have been worth the 2 life that I didn't spend. No way to know that at the time, though. Fatal Push is online. Spell Pierce is online. Phoenix Chick. Okay, this arrives with a +1 counter. It has Flying Haste. Sure. And Swift Spear. The bird is doing more damage to me this turn. I will kill that one. When you attack with 3 or more creatures, just have to stop that from happening. Now I have the choice of investing in success with my 0/4 Pyromancer or killing a thing. Can they attack with 3 creatures next turn? It's entirely possible that could happen. Yeah, I'm just gonna Dreadbore the Swift Spear and try to Pyromancer next turn. If I draw Consider, I can play Pyromancer and immediately zap. Play something I can Spell Pierce. Atarka's Command, let's go. Shit. Okay, Atarka's Command, let's go. Shit. Okay, Atarka's Command, let's go. I'm rooting so hard for my opponent to have an Atarka's Command, and it's just not happening. Cast it, it's worth so much damage. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay. Finally, the target for my Spell Pierce. This does stop a bunch of damage from coming through. 5 on its own. Consider is my best draw here, because the chick is coming back. Consider, shit. Alright, we are getting mooshed here. The Phoenix Chick can come back next turn. I can block, but any spell is bad news for me. Yep, here comes the chicken. Gonna block one of these 2 power creatures. I blocked the wrong 2 power creature. This one just has extra words on it that I could have ignored. Alright, come on. Tainted Indulgence, Consider. Prismari Command's probably my best draw. Let's go. Castle Lochthwain. That hurts, but it does kill something. I take 3 to kill one of these creatures. Yikes. And I did not draw a Fatal Push, so now I'm probably dead. Oh no, another chick. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can put me to 2. Gotta hope their hand is literally nothing. Land in hand, land in hand. You got nothing. You got nothing. Okay, I'm at 2. Land in hand, land in hand. Prismari Command. Oh, Consider. I'll take that. Let's Consider. And they could just have some instant in their hand and just kill me. They put Blood Crypt in the graveyard. Kill. Killing the chicks doesn't even matter. Yeah, I needed to find a Prismari Commander Tainted Indulgence off of this Consider or Treasure Cruise. Yeah, I'm just dead here. They don't even have to do anything. GG's. Yeah, the awkward 3-color mana base kind of hurt. If I had committed to the Spell Pierce on turn 1, that would have paid for itself on damage, but also they could have just played Phoenix Chick instead and played around it. Yeah, Pioneer's a pretty efficient format, and trying to cobble together a 3-color mid-range deck, it comes with the territory. And this is a deck that gives you no time to set up or stumble, so not surprised we lost here, but you could see how this was almost operational. I did run a lot of lands here, like a Prismari command last turn, killing 2 things and fixing my hand. Probably flips this game. Cool deck. On to the next one.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
On the draw for round 2, I don't think I can keep this 5-lander with 2 Thoughtseizes. I'm gonna mulligan this. This is a 1-lander with 2 Thoughtseizes. Gonna keep going. All right, here we go. I'll finally found a number of Thoughtseizes I'm happy with. I'm gonna send the Tainted Indulgence. Keep Consider, Ledger Shredder, Thoughtseize. Oh no. Okay. About to say I'm getting Thoughtseize after mulling into the ground. I'm gonna Thoughtseize them. I'm gonna figure out what they're doing and how to play around it. Oh wow. They kept the shitty 5-lander. One of us had to, I guess. Taking Blood Tithe Harvester, because that can fix their hand and put damage on the board. Okay, I don't get a spell this turn, but next turn all my mana is online. I can Ledger Shredder and Consider to get a Connive right away. I know they have Dreadbore, and it's fine. We'll deal with it. Oh no, they drew a good card. It's not fair. My Treasure Cruises just got a whole lot worse. Oh, that's a good one, though. Ledger Shredder and Consider a Connive first. Do I want to work my way up to Nicol Bolas and keep this land? Discard Shredder, just dump the Bolas. I think I want to keep the Bolas, though. All right, I'm going to discard Shredder. And put Haunted Ridge in my hand. Do I just take this? And now I'm set up for Bolas 2 turns out. All right. I've got my lands. They can Dreadbore and attack. Shit. Well, they drew Thoughtseize, team. Every decision I made on what cards I had available. At least I get to Connive here, because they did this backwards. I'm going to discard Blood Crypt. That one hurts me. It gives them perfect information, but it doesn't matter. And now their creature lands are online next turn. There's another Shredder. At least it's something. I'm going to put Locthwain into play. If I loot away a land, I would rather keep the land that draws cards in play. This is the matchup that I left an Anger of the Gods in the sideboard for. All right, and I'm just taking 6 here. Got to draw some removal, some spells. Let's find a Treasure Cruise. Slam that on the stack. I'm going to block the 1/1 Goblin. Oh, right, they drained me with the Cemetery homie too. All right. Brutal. Mull to 5 killed me there. Let's bring in some removal. Go Blank is good. Anger is good. How important is Unlicensed Hearse to this matchup? Probably not that important. Like, it's a big creature that tangles with their creatures. They have 2 Croxes in the stock list. This is a card I have concerns about. They're also a Sheoldred deck. I have my answers to Sheoldred in. I think I want my Extinction Events. And cards that are worse include... In Thoughtseize, this is mostly a Jund Mirror. Like, we're both just playing to the board and trying to get more game objects in play that are relevant. Thoughtseize can hit the Sheoldred or hit the whatever and save me the trouble of dealing with it. But it's also a really bad top deck when we both end up hellbent in the mid game. Yeah, I'm gonna cut my Thoughtseizes. I have Go Blank for Graveyard Hate. Do I want more? Consume is not what I want here. Hearse is the option. Prismari Command doesn't really kill anything in their deck. It's all a lot bigger than that. I'll switch one of the commands to a Hearse and try it that way. On the play, I can... Yeah, I'm going to keep this. I have a Temple that can scry looking for land number 3. And now knowing the matchup, I just will keep most borderline hands because they're a discard deck. I'll keep this one. It comes into play tapped, but so does my other land. And then once I have my second land in play, most of my mana base unlocks. There's probably a mana base that involves the pain lands like Sulphurous Springs and at all. It might work better for this, but that is not what I tried to do here. I tried to make it pain-free, but maybe coming into play untapped is more important. Ooh, good draw right on time. Just a little goblin making treasures. I have no expectation of untapping with this goblin, by the way. There it goes. Yep. I want to play to tap land. See what we got here. Second Fable. I'm going to discard Tainted Indulgence and one of the Fatal Pushes. I mean, Fatal Push does kill Sheoldred. I also want my Sheoldred. Fable is the best card here. If I don't spike my land, it might be the best card anyway. I'm going to discard a Fatal Push. Okay, cool. Now I have the option of jamming Sheoldred or playing another Fable. I think I just want a Sheoldred. Bang. Big Mama. I don't think there is any instance in the format at 2 mana that really answer this thing on that board state. Like they can spend a turn Dreadboring it here, but they probably wanted to cast their own. Yeah, there's Dreadbore. And now my Kiki Jiki wakes up and I drew another Fable. Sure. And bang. Just going to Goblin Town. Uh-oh, that doesn't work. Haha, that's a 3-drop. Nice try, though. Yeah, the backside of flip cards has whatever the mana cost of the front side is, unless the backside has its own mana value. But yeah, this is a 3-drop. We got a card off the team. Okay, they have 4 mana. Is it Sheoldred time? It is. Okay. I can kill Sheoldred in my upkeep before I take any damage from it. I don't think that's the way. I'm going to draw a card, see what I end up with. Okay. I take 2 from that. And then I can kill Sheoldred before the Fable pops. I think that is where I want to be. Okay. Prismari Command deals 2 damage to any target, and target player makes a treasure. My opponent will take 2, and I will make a treasure. Blue, red, colorless. And then I will make black off my treasure and Fatal Push the Sheoldred. And then I'm going to draw my extra cards here. Watery Grave and yet another Fable. Ooh, Treasure Cruise, hell yeah. Kiki Jiki, make a Goblin token. Then attack for 4, get 2 treasures. And cruise your daddy. For exactly 7 cards in my graveyard. And I would like to put Ledger Shredder into play. Bang. Pretty good turn. And I'm ready for the next Sheoldred as well, because Fable will leave play and then come back. And then that turns on Revolt. If they go land Sheoldred here, I'm ready for it. Okay, that is not what happened. We're flipping. And I guess I will go to combat first. Then play a Shredder. And I'm not going to anger the gods to connive. That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to play my Blood Crypt tapped. And I can activate Castle Lochthwain, drawing a card and taking 3 if I so choose. And my opponent did that. They're at 6. My treasure can turn on Fatal Push if it needs to. There's Croxa, who's going to take out my Anger of the Gods. And if they replay Croxa, I can Fatal Push it before it becomes sticky. Graveyard Trespasser. I get multiple connives here. Let's do that. Discard the land. Discard the Consider. Does this card even matter? I put them to 7, I guess. Okay. I'm going to Lock Dwayne in the end step. They got 1 card left in their hand. Having extra cards in my hand is going to matter here because the Trespasser has Ward. Ooh, 0, 1, 3, 8. Bummer. I am not at a place where I can just straight up draw 2 cards. Not yet, anyway. Blue mana. Unlicensed Hearse is a 2. This lets me straight up draw 2 cards. 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3, 8. Yes. I put Hearse in the graveyard. Oh. Hell yeah. Play my Pyromancer. Oh wait, I have already drawn my second card this turn, right? Yeah, I just cast Consider. I'm not going to play Pyromancer. Slow down. Blue, black. I'm going to straight up draw 2 cards and connive twice. Discard a Pyromancer. Discard Dragon God. Draw 2 cards, and then I can attack, Fatal Push, and win the game. I'm going to Fatal Push off of my treasure. That's how that's going to work. And I'm just going to attack with the Kiki Jiki. It's the same as copying any of my 2 power creatures with it. I guess I didn't even need to do that. They've already conceded without seeing my spell. But in case they had a removal spell, I still would have killed their thing. Okay, they saw Unlicensed Hearse. We saw Big Sheoldred. I feel like I want the Hearse more than I thought I did. Is that even true though? Like it can fizzle Trespasser triggers, like they don't gain the life and I lose the life. Nah, I don't think so. I'm not convinced. Let's go in with the same 60. This hand is slow but stable. I'm gonna keep. I don't want to see turn 2 Blood Tithe Harvester out of my opponent this game. That is the level of speed I'm not ready for. If they take it slow like they did last game, I'm into it. I'm going to play my Marsh tap now so I can turn 2 Ledger Shredder. Getting on board, I think, is more important than my life total. I'll shotgun a Blood Crypt to make that happen. Ooh. Bankbuster. Enters with 3 charge counters on it. Remove a charge counter from Bankbuster, draw a card. Then if there's no charge counters on it, create a treasure, a 1/1 pilot, and the pilot can crew +2. Okay, got it. I've got a Prismari command for that. But they are going to get a card off it before it's gone. Here is my Ledger Shredder. I actually would kind of love to see Blood Tithe Harvester this turn, because that gives me 2 clean hits on Prismari command, straight up 2 for 1. It'll push, sure. Gonna have to shotgun another land here. Because I have to bust this bank. Gotta do it. I can't just let them draw multiple cards in a game. Straight up draw. They activate this. I'll let it resolve because that doesn't matter. And then I'm going to destroy target artifact and I'm going to loot 2. Target player draws 2, discards 2, destroy target artifact. Prismari command. Shout out to Leo, member of my Patreon, who loves this card. I'm going to discard an Extinction event and I think Temple of Epiphany, but Temple I get to play on curve. Everything I would do next turn costs 3. And maybe it's just Blood Crypt. Alright, Temple and Blood Crypt are gone. Busted. They still got a card off it though. Unfortunate. That's a sweet card. Uh-oh. I did discard my untapped land if they just slam Sheoldred here. Okay. Sweet relief. That's not a Sheoldred. Ancient Indulgence, we've got 0, 2, 3, and 4. Wow, pretty close, actually. Temple. I'm going to put this redundant Fable to the bottom, and I will play my own Fable here. Got a Fatal Push for my Goblin. Okay. If they play Sheoldred this turn, Extinction Event gets the Goblin and the Sheoldred. Oh, they didn't loot at all. Their hand's already perfect. What a world. That's an even cost creature. Play another 2-drop. I guess I'd rather draw a land and Anger plus Shredder. Unless they... I guess it doesn't matter, even if they do play another one. Oh, yeah. Anger gets all of these, too. I probably want to save my Extinction event for a Sheoldred. Especially now. I am also not going to do anything with this Fable. Now the real baller decision is, do I play Ledger Shredder first, get the Connive, and just commit to discarding a spell? I think I do. Leave up red 1 for Ledger Shredder, then Anger, and just have to discard a spell. I Connive, and I guess it's the Extinction event, because I'm wrathing anyway. But event also clears all the Kikis next turn. It's going to be the Tainted Indulgence. Okay. Oh, but I have a Kiki as well next turn. But Kiki's odd and Ledger Shredder's even. Whatever. I'll just sign up for my next. I guess it's a 2 for 2 because I lose my own Keeks McCheeks. We'll see what happens here. Maybe they'll play a Graveyard Trespasser and just let me sweep up with event. Oh, only one of these. Yeah, right. They're not both flipping this turn. Just one of them is. That makes more sense. That is how curving out your Magic cards works. Fatal Push, you got me. Thoughtseize, you also got me. But I have a Locthwain, so it's not that bad. Ooh, Prismari Command, what's up? Do I want to loot away my Steam Vents? Probably. I can't kill their blood token. They'll just use it. 2 damage to any target, and target player loots. Or would I rather have a treasure? If I shock in Steam Vents, I'll have 1, 2, 3. I can Steam Vents and Prismari Command. Okay, I'm gonna make a treasure. I'd rather just draw a card than loot into different cards while making a land drop. 2 to any target. Target player makes a treasure. 2 to your Kiki Jiki. I make a treasure. Red, blue, colorless. Shock in Steam Vents. That's going to be worth it to get another card, I hope. This is the top deck where I was talking about where Thoughtseize is really bad. Like, they cast a Thoughtseize against me 2 turns ago, which did get a card, but it's just like, there could be a Thoughtseize in their hand right now, where I don't even have one in my deck. Nope, we're both empty. Oh, they played out their land when they have a blood token? Oh, they're trying to get their Hive active. Okay. End step, activate castle. Let's go, deck. Help me out here. Real cards, real cards. Those are not real cards. Bummer. I'm gonna have to use all my black to activate this. Do I want to take 3 and then decide where I'm going? Or play my land out? I can take 1 less damage, but I can't leave up black mana if I do that. Alright, I'm gonna take an extra damage here to know if I need black mana or not. Turns out I am I there? Okay. 0, 2, 4, 3. 0, 2, 4, and 3. That's all of it. Oh, this is so much fucking damage. I was hoping for removal. I'm gonna play Blood Crypt tapped. I don't want to take the damage here, and I will accept what comes my way. I kept our card. God damn it. Manipulated the game to a place where Thoughtseize is bad. Immediately made Thoughtseize good again. Okay, I think the line here is block the real goblin, if it even attacks. Yeah, I gotta block something because I'm in trouble to this Hive next turn. Alright, come on. Sheoldred Treasure Cruise. Sheoldred Treasure Cruise. Alright, Treasure Cruise. I'll take it. Good start. My opponent's rolling their eyes that I just drew this card. That's okay. Let me see if I can manipulate the next Tainted Indulgence. Oh, I only play 2 and they're both there. Or are there 3? I don't remember. 3, 3, 2, 2, 4. Okay. I just did that. Wait, what the shit? Come on, deck. 4, 2, 2, Or I want to leave the spell too, not the creature too. Because Trespasser likes eating creatures. Eat those 2s, eat these 3s, and one of the 4s. There we go. Nothing has left the battlefield this turn. Come on, Sheoldred. Do not put Treasure Cruise in the graveyard. No, no, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not going to need Castle Lochthwain this turn. Go, let's go. Go blank. You are already blank. I can Fatal Push Hive of the Eye Tyrant. I think that's where I need to be. Coast. Curse. Hold up 2 Fatal Pushes and pass the turn. As exciting as that was, it didn't really go anywhere. And one of my permanents has to leave the board, not any permanent, so Fatal Push is still not on here. Fire up the eyeball. I'm going to let them attack before I kill it. That takes a card out of my graveyard, but at least they can't copy it. Go to 4. Oh, the Bank Buster. That's such a good draw. I think all my Prismari commands have been used. All right, deck, we need, what, Big Sheoldred right now? We did not need another Fatal Push. I can't even crew my own hearse and then kill it, turning on the other 2 Fatal Pushes, or the other Fatal Push. If I Castle Lochthwain, I lose. Dead Zoes. That was close. That turn where I ended up, like, I could be at 1 right now if I had played my land before Lochthwaining all those turns ago. Bummer. That was a scrappy one. Rank it. The Bank Buster seems like it should be in my deck. That's a good card. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play against a Yorion deck. I'm going to keep my hand. The Yorion decks are usually control decks. I don't have any black mana here, but I think we're going to play kind of a long game. Or that mono white creature deck is also a Yorion build sometimes. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Mono white creatures it is. Ledger Shredder. Let's go. Now I am more interested in my black source more quickly. Yeah, I do think this deck is really cool. Kellen Pistori has been tweeting about it a lot lately. My life is cursed. Guess I'm just passing. I do have a 1-3 in play. Reflect your Mage, no! Alright, I don't have a 1-3 in play anymore. We're looking very, very dead this game, unless I find mana right now. The Temple of Epiphany, the ETB tapped land in the deck that also does not make black. Good stuff. This is a matchup where Irencrag Pyromancer can go nuts. If that gets online, that's it. They've curved out pretty well. Let's see if they can keep delivering. And for 4, Arming Prince, gonna probably draw a card with Companion. Oh, cool. Another red card. Or another black card. I can Prismari command to kill Charming Prince and loot. That's probably the play. Shoot any target. Target player draws 2, discards 2. Alright. Kill Charming Prince and I loot. If I find a black source off of this, I can also Fatal Push this turn. Oh, I guess I could have just made a treasure and guaranteed it. I'd rather dig for a land though. Still no land. Tainted Indulgence, and am I ever going to Fable this game? Table seems really far behind. Table into the graveyard. Temple. Find me a black source. The events to the bottom. I built the deck to cast Nicol Bolas Planeswalker, which is a black spell. Most of the lands in the deck make black. Once during each of your turns, you may play a land from your graveyard or cast a spell with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard. If you do it gains, when this permanent is put in the graveyard, exile it and gain 2 life. Okay, that's pretty good. I think I want a Ledger Shredder first and just maximize for hitting my black source right now. Consider, connive, put, oh my god. Put Fatal Push in the graveyard. Consider, put Thoughtseize in the graveyard. Black source, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm 1 short on Treasure Cruise. Yikes. Once again, trying to string together a 3-color mana base in Pioneer, which is a ruthlessly efficient format, proving to be a big ask. And now I have a second copy of Ledger Shredder in my hand, so when this one gets Reflector Maged, it's extra fucked. Okay, Haunted Ridge. Black source? I'd be so lucky. Dreadbore, take out Sarah Paragon. And one I have plenty to Treasure Cruise with now. And I can consider, yes, put that land into the graveyard, and I drew another land. Okay, I have black sources now. Probably too late, but we'll see, I guess. How do I actually win this game? It's going to be tough to beat the Yorion looping with Charming Prince. I think Tainted Indulgence is probably kind of a pipe dream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm also just at 2. No, I'm dead to Mutavault. Even worse than that. I feel like this matchup is solid on paper, but obviously, like, if I had killed these creatures before these engines got online with my black mana, which didn't arrive until turn 7. But I did keep the hand. I can't beat the Yorion loop here. Certainly not from 2. Okay, there are a lot of sweepers and hate in my deck for this kind of thing. Let's see if it works. Don't think I want or really care about Thoughtseize in this world. Oh, there's been 4 Tainted Indulgences in this deck the whole time. That's cool. I thought there was 3. Shredder, Dreadbore. I think I just want to cut some of this like medium range stuff. I like Big Sheoldred. I like Nicol Bolas. I like all the sweepers. Let's go. A 1-lander, but it doesn't cast the Consider. I'm going to mulligan. Okay, this one doesn't have blue mana, but playing without a color, blue is the one that I care the least about. I'm going to send this Treasure Cruise to the bottom, because if I play Hidetsugu Consumes All, basically at any point in this game, then that cruise is going to be miles behind. And I'll try to sweep that up in the Consume, along with the treasure it produced. Once again, I am once again asking for a land deck. Spirited Companion. I'm likely to Fatal Push that, even though it doesn't feel good, but the synergies with it, that thing drew like 3 cards last game. All right, land, untap land, easy, fucking shit. That sucks. That was my opportunity to sweep up Thraben Inspector, undo the 2-for-1. Charming Prince. Do I want to push the Inspector? No, I'm going to push the Prince, and once again ask my deck for untap land. Because this flicker doesn't matter if I can sweep up the clues and the Inspector all at once. Deck. Untapped land, untapped land, untapped land, untapped land, untapped land. I hate it. I hate it here. I'm leaving. I'm exiting this mortal plane. Okay, I guess, like, real question. 22 lands, maybe that's too low for a Pioneer deck. Maybe I actually just need to play like 23, 24. Maybe some MDFCs could make their way in here. Another Prince. Okay. I get another chance to sweep up Thraben Inspector. It's already drawn 1 card. They did cash in a clue this turn. Okay, deck. We're done playing around. Oh, God. I'm not going to Dreadbore a Thraben Inspector. I will Dreadbore that with extreme prejudice. So whatever it gets is probably not beatable. Oh, cool. My spells cost 2 more to cast. I've already failed to cast any spells this game. Wise guy. Okay. Guess we're dead. In 22 lands, maybe it's too low for a Pioneer deck, but I'm also 11 lands into my deck. Slightly better than 1 and 3 cards in my deck is a land. 11 cards into the deck. Just like on expectation, you would have seen 4 lands by now. And my bottom card is Treasure Cruise, and I know that, so like that's 1 card out of the mix that's not a land. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Get rid of these jerks. And then I have to beat God Pharaoh Statue. And they do have their land drop. And I lose 1 life at the end of each turn. Exile the graveyards. Consider is a spell I can cast. It's just find lands. Put Consider into the graveyard and did not draw a land. Perfect. They can smear with their Mutavaults this turn. If that's even the best way to spend their mana, they could just do anything. Okay, I needed that Consume to stabilize against the Mutavaults. Just literally can't win from here. Missing a bunch of land drops. I missed enough land drops that they were able to God Pharaoh Statue while I had 3 lands in play. That's how this game went. Great. This deck, I think... I mean, I also flooded out in previous games pretty hard. Like, I lost games because I had only lands. We might just be experiencing like normal Magic variants here, or maybe I need a mulligan better, or maybe my cantrips aren't doing as much work as I thought they were. We'll have to revisit this one. Let's keep going. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I will say on the topic of the mana base that the original list that Frosted sent me had 4 Xander's Lounge. That's the Grixis Triome. And I cut them because they come into play tapped all the time, and that seemed really bad. And replacing them with the slow lands, at least those come into play untapped when you need them to. But I've also had actual color problem in at least 1 major round this league so far. So like color problem versus curve problem, and 3 colors. Asking a lot here. Anyway, I'm going to keep my hand. I'm on the draw. Also, the meme among Frosted and his friends is that Frosted can never do better than 2-3, and that's my best outcome at this point. Looks like I am trying to perform to that expectation. Got another one of these double Thoughtseize starts. We haven't seen an Irencrag Pyromancer since round 1 either. A Kroxa, I'm not going to put that directly into the graveyard for them. I could take the Trespasser this turn, the Liliana the turn after. I guess I'm more worried about Liliana, though. I'll take that one now. In case they draw Thoughtseize and Thoughtseize my Thoughtseize, I want to take the more scary card now. And I have to decide what I'm discarding to Kroxa, because that's probably happening right now. Yep. It might just be Consider. Like, I don't want to discard Cruise, because that's how I reload this game. But Consider might become necessary. I mean, it's probably Irencrag Pyromancer, but that is like what we're trying to do here. Right, I'm trying to salvage my record here. I'm going to make the right call, even if it is the one that the deck is built around. Sorry, Irencrag Pyromancer, you are the worst card in my hand right now. Let's get another Thoughtseize going. Take the Trespasser. And okay. Working my way towards this Treasure Cruise. My opponent's hand is pretty bad, but there's a lot of good top decks like Fable, Liliana, another Trespasser. Looks like they didn't hit on any of those. Another Thoughtseize. I'm going to Consider first. I'd like to hit a land here. Put Treasure Cruise in the graveyard. All right, found the land. Good news, everybody. Thoughtseize, please show me Sheoldred. We at least know there's a Fatal Push in there. Okay, and it's Castle Lochthwain and Haunted Ridge. Opponent's empty, but they are dropping Castle. If they can get 2 cards in their graveyard somehow, they can Kroxa, but I'm not sure how that happens. I can Cruise this turn. Disappointing. Don't have another blue source. Don't get to double spell this one. Guess I couldn't double spell it anyway. Only had 6 cards in the graveyard. I am going to shock in Steam Vents to get my Ledger Shredder running. Okay, let's go. I am currently ahead. Treasure Cruise versus Castle Lochthwain in the card drawing battle. Blood Tithe Harvester, okay. If they cast another spell, I get to connive. They are activating their blood token, discarding this Haunted Ridge, and shipping it over. Another Shredder. Yeah, I could get a lot of action here. Second Shredder, Fatal Push your Harvester, many connives. Discard a Tainted Indulgence, and I think I'd rather have Fable than Prismari Command around. They can Kroxa next turn. I have the Dreadbore for it. I have 1, 3, 2, and 7 in my graveyard. Indulgence is almost a straight up 2. Draw 2. Just need to get a land in my graveyard somehow. I'm going to discard Fable for this Kroxa. Then I can Dreadbore and Indulge, and if a connive hits, if either of my connive hits a land along the way, then I get to draw 2 cards. Dreadbore, black, red, and then Tainted Indulgence, black, blue. There's a land in my top 2 cards. I'm going to draw 2 cards right now. There we go, got there. And another land, and I'm going to Indulge and play my land for turn and attack for 4. Now the Indulgences are up and running. No creature lands over there. Don't have to worry about a backswing. Played their 4th Blood Crypt. 2 cards left in hand. I'm going to discard Prismari Command. The straight up draw 2 on Tainted Indulgence is really good right now. I'm going to Indulge first, so I don't change the number of mana costs in my graveyard by accident. And Treasure Cruise. Let's look at this graveyard. I have multiple 3s. Exile the Prismari commands. I have many 2s. I have 0s. Treasure Cruise will replace itself. There we go. And kept all 5 mana costs. And they scooped to the second Treasure Cruise. Hell yeah. We won a game. All right, the engine finally got online that game, and it did look pretty good. Still haven't cast an Irencrag Pyromancer since round 1, though. Anger of the Gods, Unlicensed Hearse, Go Blank, Extinction Event. I'm not even sure if the multiple Extinction Events are good. Last time we played against this matchup, they kind of ran out of creatures when we had a grip full of Sweepers. One of the commands, and then this looks pretty good to me. I'm pretty thin on answers to Sheoldred. I guess I have way more answers than they have Sheoldreds, but the thing about Sheoldred is you don't really get to dig for answers if you don't have it right away, because it kills you. But I'm going to go for it. I'm going to keep this hand. It A, has 7 cards in it against the Thoughtseize deck, and B, does Ledger Shredder stuff and has all my colors. Need a 3rd land to really get off the ground, but let's hope my deck produces one. I've learned better than to say we'll probably draw one. Probability doesn't apply here. Oh, we got there. That's lucky. Okay, I'm going to play Watery Grave tapped. If I lead on Storm, like I'm not spending any mana this turn anyway. If I lead on the Stormcarved Coast, then I have to shock in Ledger Shredder next turn and then shock in my 3-drop. If I lead on a tap shock, then I can shock in once, and then the coast is free later. Working our way up the pain curve here and get the first Shredder in. Pyromancer is in the hand. We've got a chance. They're on the Blood Tithe Harvester draw. That's their fastest draw, most aggressive hit anyway. And I was not going to block that. So the Fatal Push is nice. Get some of their mana spent. Ace Mind Tome. Okay. Yeah. That's like Bankbuster, but different. Oh, the Dragon God. Jargon God. I'm going to Fable first. I think this is the one that takes longer to get running. The Pyromancer, if I was sure it would be alive, I would lead on that. And then Tainted Indulgence next turn. But with all their removal. I would rather be able to Pyromancer and consider all at once and guarantee value. Thoughtseize, bummer. What do you even take? The Treasure Cruise? Dragon God? All my cards are busted. They did take my Dragon God. Go blank, oh no. Alright. Treasure Cruise is now miles away and not gonna happen. Shredder or Indulgence? I think it's Indulgence. Yeah, fine. That was a really good go blank. They made me so blank. And then they did the sacrifice Blood Tithe Harvester to kill a creature mode. In addition to being a 3/2 that makes a blood, you can tap sack, target creature gets -X, where X is twice the number of bloods you have, and they have 1 blood, so they just killed my goblin. Fair enough. I am not going to loot away. Do I want to loot the Ledger Shredder? I'm going to loot the Ledger Shredder. I'm going to hold on to Pyromancer. Yeah, rewarded. I'm going to play another Fable and hopefully trigger Pyromancer next turn. And hope that their last card in hand is not Sheoldred. Blood Crypt. Shocked it in. What does that mean? Does that mean they're trying to draw a card with Maze Mind Tome? You would have done that before your land drop. Okay. They have a removal spell and then activate Maze Mind Tome. I get it now. It makes perfect sense. Do I want to discard any cards? The answer is no. And then I get a Kiki Jiki, Haunted Ridge. I think I just have to zap my opponent with Pyromancer now to start putting some damage on the board. They're going to draw a card. Play Pyromancer. I mean, committing 3 damage here might be low impact. I am going to put Fatal Push in the graveyard. I'm just aggressively digging for the next cantrip. Okay, deck. Let's go. Tainted Indulgence, Prismari Command. Another Consider, any of the above. Activating the last Maze Mind Tome. So they lose, or they gain 4 life. Lose that. The rest, sure. I wasn't going to sweep up this awesome board anyway. I'll play your Murderous Rider. Ready to get murdered, Rider. Okay, deck, now is the time for an effect that draws a card. Give me that Tainted Indulgence. Oh, yeah. Too fucking easy. All right. I'm going to copy Irencrag Pyromancer. And then Indulge. They have an Herb Organ play, so leaving Stormcarved Coast up gives me a tri-land. I'm going to discard the Fable. 3 damage to your Goblin, 3 damage to your Dome. Unfortunately, this creature does not attack very well. But I found another Indulgence. In for 0. Keep the machine gun running here. I currently have 1, 2, 3 in my graveyard. They looted away a Den of the Bugbear. They are looting away a Fable with their blood token. Up too little, too late. Blood Tithe Harvester. Okay. That's also going to be too little, too late. If they play this Murderous Rider, I just get to machine gun the board. Frosted, we're doing it. Finally. Oh, that's great. I get to keep my copy the Pyromancer. I get to keep my Tainted Indulgence. Oh, I should have done this in the end step, so I would have had Pyromancers on their turn as well. Consider. And we did it! They conceded to the Pyromancer lock. It only took 4 rounds, but I mean, I can see the appeal. When you get this thing going, it's very powerful. It just takes investing in a 3-mana 0/4, and then also casting another spell, and also this thing still being in play when that spell resolves to start doing the thing. On a stable board, it's obviously dominating, but we can see how building a deck around this could cause some concern compared to, like, look what my opponent's doing. Every single one of their cards, immediately as soon as they draw it, makes a thud on the battlefield, where ours is like, someday. It's just like efficiency in deck building, power over synergy, just the classic battle. On to the final round. Let's see if I can put up a patented Frosted 2/3. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. On the draw in the last round, I'm going to keep this. This has a great selection of mana and cards to cast with it. A Gilded Goose strategy. Okay. Always bolt the goose, right? That's what they say. Always push the goose. I've pushed a goose. And played Glasspool Mimic and another goose. I don't actually know what's going on right now. Maybe I'm just out of the Pioneer loop, or maybe this is like a silly thing. But I have no idea what deck plays blue-green, including these MDFC clones and also Gilded Goose. Oh, is this the Kinnan deck? That might be what this is. There's like a Kinnan, Bonder, Prodigy, Insano deck. Oh, Prime Speaker, Vanifair. That is not what I thought was going to happen. All right. I can Tainted Indulgence, try to hit. Fatal Push doesn't even get me there. Prime Speaker, Vanifair, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I could invest in Irencrag Pyromancer, but I can also just jam that thing plus consider next turn and pick off a creature. I'm going to try to indulge into a removal spell right now. Did not get there. I'll put Watery Grave and Blood Crypt into... Oh, yeah, I only have to discard one. That's so cool. I was resolving Brainstorm in my head, as I tend to do. I'm going to use Temple now and land on the bottom. Might as well attack, I guess. Speaker doesn't fly. If they just don't activate Speaker and attack me for 2, I'm going to feel like such a chump. Okay, there may be a chain that goes all the way up to lethal here. If there is, I don't know what it is, but it probably exists. Putting a pair of Voice of Resurgences into play. That's pretty strong. Get to Connive. Thoughtseize, we are past the point of that card helping my game. Okay, we're doing it. Extraction Specialist gets back Corridor Monitor. Oh my god, this rules. All right. Yeah, they could just like pass the turn here, and it's not like I can win. Never do anything. This is cool. Yeah, Extraction Specialist plus Corridor Monitor. Quite a combo. Put infinite 3/2 lifelinks into play. And by infinite, I mean 4. And then whatever's left. Oh, there's Glasspool Mimics in the deck too. You could just start getting those, which come in as Extraction Specialists. I love this. I'm very happy for my opponent right now. Genuinely stoked for what they're doing and all the fun they're having. Oh, your creatures get haste? Okay, okay. Nice. Yeah, okay. That was awesome. Our deck should be well suited to pick this sort of thing apart now that I know what's going on. But yeah, that ruled. The old turn 4 Goldfish. Anger of the Gods. Unlicensed Hearse. Does Karavik matter? Other creatures get -1. Everything I saw was X2 or bigger. Consume beats up Geese. Extinction Event can address Vanifair on curve. I think this is where I want to go. And cards that are less good. I mean, we know the answer. It's Irencrag Pyromancer. Oh no. Against this combo deck, and it's a creature combo deck, but it's still a combo deck. This Grixis deck is just already pretty good at beating up creatures. Alright, maybe Nicol Bolas. I'll leave an Irencrag Pyromancer in. Because Mario Command seems really good, actually. Tainted Indulgence. Thoughtseize seems pretty relevant. And got a Fable. Alright. I will do this to leave one Irencrag Pyromancer still in the decks for Frosted. Yeah, on the play, I do like this hand. It gives me a lot of selection. Got some removal in it. I think I'm actually going to lead on Castle Lochthwain, though, rather than Steam Vents, because I could Steam Vents Consider, but then if I miss on Swamp, I don't have a black source. But I could just play Lochthwain tapped, and then Fatal Push their Goose and cast Consider on my turn 2. I'm going to do that. Llanowar Elves. Didn't see that one game 1. Probably should have known it was there, though. Push your Elf. And I can wait to consider until I know what's going on. Another Goose is what's going on. Consider in the end step. Prismari Command. No, do not put that card in my graveyard. I'll take that. That kills the Goose. And do I want to loot? Or do I want to make a treasure? I want to make a treasure. I could kill the food, but that doesn't matter without Goose. If that was a treasure or clue, I would destroy it. 2 damage to your Goose. I'm going to make a treasure. Prosperous Innkeeper. Treasure, Elvish Mystic. Okay. Yeah, Karavek would have been good here. I'm now seeing all of these X1s that I didn't see game 1. Oh, that's a great draw. Cool. Thoughtseize, see where we're going here. Put Vanifar in the graveyard. Prime Speaker Vanifar and GTFO. And I think I want to Able here. That seems like the way forward. Outland Liberator. Bummer. That can kill my thing. Sure. Alright. Fair enough. I wasn't sure that I was going to loot anyway. I definitely want the treasure though. Yeah, I'm going up to the big mama here. So Voice of Resurgence plus Prosperous Innkeeper. Probably do not race effectively. And then all my card draw effects are on next turn, gaining 8 life next turn at least. If I choose to go all the way in on it. Here's Innkeeper. They can also play Voice off of that. Now they have white mana again. That is a lot of life points. Ooh. The Treasure Cruise has joined the party. They can't block and kill Sheoldred. They could trade Voice for Goblin token, and then they get a 4/4 out of the deal. And I get mana out of the deal. I'm in. Voice of Resurgence trades with Goblin. They gain 2 life from their Innkeepers. And then I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to start with Consider. I don't put Fatal Push in the graveyard. That kills the big elemental jerk. Kill the big elemental jerk. And then Treasure Cruise. The whole graveyard. Gain another 6. And I can play Stormcarved Coast. Get my Unlicensed Hearse into play. I think I'd rather do that than play another Consider. Now we're cranking. Might as well attack. You're not going to block the big shoulder mama. Exile, Prime Speaker, and Voice. I'll start with a Consider. See what I come up with here. If I can get some different mana values in my graveyard, I will put Thoughtseize in the graveyard. Nice. Ledger Shredder, pretty good. Get that attack with Sheoldred through. So big. Jack and Steam Vents because my life total is no longer relevant. Going completely insane with the Bug Mother. Opponent's life total is dropping quickly. Ooh. Found something. They found a Vanifar. Okay. Party's on. In the end step, I want to use one of my indulgences. Even if it won't do anything particularly special, there we go. Extremely interested in finding a removal spell for the Vanifar. Curse eats 2 things. We can go to my turn and kill Vanifar. Bang. Okay, cool. Removal lined up now that I knew what they were doing, and big Sheoldred doing her thing. Let's get Karavek in here now for sure. I've now seen the other half of their deck that's full of X1s. Path of Peril. That's really good against the Voice of Resurgence backup plan. I still don't like Consume. Seems too slow to interact with the mana dorks, which is the really important thing that's going on. Anger's good. Sorry, Pyromancer. I'm trying to salvage this league. Prismari Command's still good. They cut another Indulgence or another Fable. They could cut an Extinction Event as well. They don't seem to go that big if they're not comboing, and when they combo, you're dead. Yeah, I'm fine. That makes sense to me. I'm in. No black mana, no removal. I'm going to mulligan this. This one's much better. I'm going to keep this and bottom the Indulgence. I'd rather keep the Disruption and the card draw. Like, Fable is card draw plus other things. Prismari Command is card draw plus other things. Where Indulgence is just card draw. I'm going to lead on Watery Grave in case I draw Consider next turn. Ooh, multiple Vanifars. It's a strong start. If only I was playing a deck full of removal. Breeding Pool tapped and attack for 1. Good stuff. Tainted Indulgence, okay. I probably do want to cast that, just take my damage, and then cast that next turn, or in their end step or whatever. I could have Dreadboard Llanowar Elves and then tried to curve up. But I think just taking out the important card is probably where I want to be. End step Indulgence. Discard this Thoughtseize, I think. In this Court of Calling could be a problem. Need 7. So if I discard Prismari Command, I can Dreadbore plus Thoughtseize this turn. Or I could discard the Watery Grave and just hope to find another land. Yeah, I think it's Watery Grave, actually. And Dreadbore and Thoughtseize, take this Court of Calling unless you drew something better. Yeah, just 2 lands in hand. Okay, let's go. Scavenging Ooze, pretty hot. There are creatures in graveyards, so Prismari Command. Oh, and they have 2 mana up. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay. Just going in on Fable. And I will play my land, even though that would be a good thing to loot away. I think getting big mana and doing big things is how I'm going to win the game from here. Yeah, if they only had 1 green up, I probably would have played chicken in the end step where I just pass the turn and then they try to eat something and I kill it. But that doesn't work from here. Okay. They are all in double Prismari Command without enough mana to cast it all. Or, yeah, wait. Yes, I can. I'm going to discard nothing from this hand. And then, okay. Yeah, there is no creatures in the graveyard. If I could take out this Scavenging Ooze, this game becomes pretty easy. Oh, they're just going all the way in, taking out my whole graveyard right now. Smart. Might as well beat the Treasure Cruise. I am not going to use this ability. I am going to attack with my little goblin buddy. And then I'm going to Prismari Command, dealing 2, making a treasure. 2 to Ooze, make a treasure. And let's do that again. 2 to Ooze, make a treasure. It's not pretty, but it works. I'm going to just eat one more thing on the way out. Okay, now I need my Goblin token and 2 Fable of the Mirror Breakers to beat their 2 Llanowar Elves on the top of their deck. I'm also at 7 to their 17. Oh, there is real damage race possibility here with... Alright, just played a land. Nice. Get to Connive. Connive is just mill, though. Alright, I don't think I'm going to Connive. So, my deck is a Graveyard Synergy deck, so I am going to Connive. Change my mind. Just chuck that card in the graveyard, self-mill strat. Whatever it is, don't care. And play the Fable. The Connive. Oh, big Sheoldred. That is one I would have liked to keep, but still, just in theory, that is the correct thing to do. Played another land. Party time, folks. I am going to loot away Locthwain. Like, I just want to use it to draw a card anyway, and I can just skip that step and put this card into play. Okay, I'm going to copy Goblin and attack with all my goblins, leave back my 2 shredders. I don't want to get, like, cheesed by some Court of Calling haste creature or something. I don't even know what that is, but I'm going to play around it. I have tons of mana for next turn. F6. One of us is dead here. Cool. Elvish Mystic is not the solution. They said they promised their deck doesn't only play mana dorks. I believe you. I saw the rest of the deck last game. Is there a lethal attack here, or an attack that starts to force blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4. I can just attack with my grounders. Blood Crypt on the bottom. I'm going to leave back my Kiki Jikis, I think. Attack with the goblins and the... There's a trick you can do in the end step where you just make a ton of Kiki Jikis. They copy each other. They all come into play, or they don't come into play tap, but they have to tap to make more. But if you do it in the end step, then they don't die. You untap and they die in the next end step. Okay, cool. We win. We put up the patented 2-3 record with the deck. Here it is, the list that we played. I gotta say, The core thing that we want to be doing with the deck is easily the worst thing in this deck. And that shouldn't really come as a surprise. That's generally how brews shake out. Like, there's a reason people aren't on Irencrag Pyromancer in like the top of the metagame. This is an efficient format full of efficient threats, and spending 3 mana on something that doesn't do anything unless you do more things is a big ask in a format with just like Liliana of the Veil and Greasefang and Graveyard Trespasser. There's a lot of messed up stuff you can do for 3 mana. Honestly, the rest of the deck around it, like if you ignore the specific frosted favorites of Irencrag Pyromancer and Nickelball's Dragon God, there might be a Grixis Sheoldred deck here that uses Ledger Shredder and Tainted Indulgence for value. This felt pretty good. The mana kind of sucked. Like, this did kind of feel like we were just red-black mid-range with worse mana and threats that required more setup rather than just curving out and doing good things. Something needs to be done with this mana base for sure. Probably some number of pain lands is the right answer. Or I don't think that pathways are the way, because this deck really does ask you to spend all 3 colors somewhat regularly while trying to cast a black spell, Nicol Bolas, at the top. I think the Temple of Epiphanies need to go for sure. Those can be pain lands, like an ETB untapped source, and we could probably trim on the slow lands. I think you need all your shock lands, or at least all the swamp ones, to enable Locthwain. And this could be a check land mana base. Those are legal in the format, right? Like Drowned Catacombs and Rootwater Crag and stuff. Turns out I just made up the name Rootwater Crag. But yes, the check lands are available in the format. Blood something Cliffs is the red-black one. Drowned Catacombs is the blue-black one. You might want just to use the full 12 shock lands as basic land types to turn on check lands. And that might be the way to go, and sprinkle it with some pain lands, like the slow lands. They are in fact slow, and Temple always coming into play tap. This Scry was nice when it happened, but also you probably just want to cast your spells. So number one critique is that the core motivation for the deck doesn't really hang. But if we're going to try to make it hang, my next critique is fix the mana base in the way described. But the Thoughtseize, Dreadbore, Sheoldred, Fable stuff was all really good. Treasure Cruise, obviously a busted magic card. There might be something here. And I think we took a step in the right direction here today. Frosted, I hope this was helpful. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon and all the things that help the channel in the video description, and I'll see you next time.